From Disney to Scream, it's been a wild ride for Jenna Ortega. Currently killing it as the haunting Wednesday Addams, Ortega has transformed so much in her 20 years, it's almost scary. Jenna Ortega grew up in rural Coachella Valley, California, alongside 3 sisters and 2 brothers. And as she told the Mama's Mission blog, being part of a large family definitely had its perks, saying middle children get away with more stuff in general. As a child, Ortega already had star quality, tons of energy and enthusiasm. She stood out, but didn't always fit in. She learned to ignore mean comments and embrace her passionate personality, though it wasn't always easy, telling YSB Now, "I got bullied a lot in school. Lucky for me, I've always been proud of my differences." Jenna Ortega and her siblings were taught to embrace their Mexican and Puerto Rican heritage, with her mother making sure they were fluent in Spanish as well as English. In a 2016 special for the Disney Channel, her mom spoke about the pride she had in her family's background.
I'm very proud of where I come from. I was always brought up with certain traditions from Mexico.
Jenna Ortega caught the acting bug very early in life. As she explained to YSB Now, she was just 8 years old when she decided she wanted to become an actress, coming home after school and telling her mom she wanted to be in a commercial. Her mom agreed to help her pursue this dream, posting a video of the young Ortega performing a monologue on Facebook.
A wig? Daddy told me the doctors had cut some off. Why'd they take it off? It's scaring me.
Luckily, a casting director soon came across the video, Ortega got her first agent, and she was on her way. Jenna Ortega's first appearances on TV were in commercials, hawking everything from Colgate toothpaste to McDonald's Happy Meals. Her first real acting role was in 2012, when she appeared in a small part on an episode of comedian Rob Schneider's show, Rob. This was followed by a small guest role on CSI New York. She then had a small but pivotal part in Iron Man 3, though even avid Marvel fans may have missed Ortega's appearance. She plays the vice president's daughter, appearing in a brief Christmas scene. Sitting in a wheelchair, her character is missing a leg, which becomes an important plot point later on. But her first big break came in 2014 when she played young Jane on Jane the Virgin. Just 2 years later, in 2016, something really special happened. Jenna Ortega landed the lead role on the Disney Channel show Stuck in the Middle. This was a dream come true for Ortega. As she explained to Grumpy Magazine, she had always wanted to be on the Disney Channel. Initially, the lead character on the show was supposed to be a blonde girl named Hillary. Despite that, when Ortega auditioned, she got the role, which was then changed to the role she made her own, a brunette named Harley. As Ortega recalled in a 2016 interview on the Nuke the Fridge YouTube channel, "When I found out that I booked it, I cried. I don't think I've ever cried so much in my life. I was so happy." Ortega went on to confess that she was still getting used to being a leading lady on a Disney show, saying, "It all seems so unreal. It's something I've been wanting to do my whole life." While Stuck in the Middle was certainly a huge milestone for Jenna Ortega, it was just the beginning. Because at the same time as she was playing Harley on the live-action sitcom, she was also starring as an animated princess in another Disney series, Elena of Avalor. As she explained to the Laughing Place blog, the show was the first Disney production to involve a Latina princess, which for Ortega was a huge deal.
I barely slept last night. I mean, how are you supposed to sleep the night before you become queen?
When I was younger, I didn't have a Latina princess I could look up to. Now little Latinas like me can now see themselves as a Disney princess, which means so much to me. I love it. While the role of Princess Isabel meant a lot to Ortega from a cultural standpoint, it also helped her learn some new skills, namely voice acting. Because, unlike her previous roles, this one was animated. As she explained in her interview with Laughing Place, it's different in the booth because if your character is tired, not only do you have to show that on your face, but you also have to make it come across in your voice. Jenna Ortega isn't just an actress, she is also an activist, becoming a force for positivity on social media. However, when she started out, she was just like any other teen, and she actually wasn't even allowed to start an account until she was around 12 years old. But as her fame grew, so did her online following, which is when Ortega began to use her platform to promote good causes, telling Forbes, "There is no excuse to not speak up."
October is National Bullying Prevention Awareness Month. I just want to talk about cyberbullying really quick. It goes on way too much and it is not okay.
In a 2018 interview with the Los Angeles television station KTLA, the star explained how she was using her platform to promote important political issues. She discussed how many people avoid talking about important topics online because they don't want to offend anybody, and how she disagrees with this stance.
I feel like it's important for my fans to know that it's okay to speak up for what you believe in, and I encourage them to do so because, we're not really going to cause change without everyone using their voice.
Do you remember when former First Lady Melania Trump wore that Zara jacket, the one that said, "I really don't care, do you?" on the back? Well, Jenna Ortega took note and came back with her own message in response, showing up at a Disney event wearing a jacket that read, "I do care and you should too." As Ortega later told Yahoo Entertainment, her jacket was meant to be a statement about Donald Trump's policy on separating immigrant children from their parents at the U.S. border. And when she saw Melania's jacket, she knew just how to make that statement. At that moment, I knew exactly what my statement was going to be, how I wanted it. I worked with my stylist. I told him I want to get this jacket made with this message on the back. While some people online criticized her for getting too political, Ortega didn't care. As she put it, "I'm the kind of person who stands up for what they believe in." In 2019, Jenna Ortega appeared in the second season of the hugely popular Netflix series You. The show revolved around a man, Joe, who has a tendency to develop dangerous obsessions over his girlfriends. Ortega played Ellie, a spunky teen who befriends him. As she explained to Teen Vogue, the role was an empowering experience. My voice was heard, and that was very empowering to me because I've been on sets where, being a young woman of color, I don't always get a say in what my character is doing or what's happening on screen. And it wasn't necessarily a familiar role for Ortega to take on. In fact, it couldn't have been further from the Disney Channel. As she told Bionic Buzz in a red carpet interview, "It was nice to finally step out of my comfort zone and do a thriller, which I'd never done before." Jenna Ortega proved her comedy skills in Stuck in the Middle and then her dramatic skills in You. Her casting in the 5th Scream movie shows a talent for horror, too.
This isn't funny, Amber.
Would you like to play a game, Tara?
As she revealed in an interview with Fault magazine, horror has always been on her list of dream genres, though it was a little intimidating joining such a famous franchise. It has left such a massive impact on the genre and means so much to such a large quantity of people. I want this character to be someone they can embrace and accept into their community. Horror fans, take note, the 2023 trailer for Scream 6 looks extra scary and shows Ortega returning to the franchise. Besides taking on multiple acting projects, Jenna Ortega also released her own self-help book. The book, titled It's All Love, Reflections for Your Heart and Soul, was released by Penguin Random House in January 2021. In it, Ortega opens up about her mental health struggles and her journey with Hollywood. Speaking to the J14 channel about the book, Ortega explained how she had always been very passionate about writing and decided to publish this collection of stories and lessons because she thought they might be helpful for her fans, going on to say, "Being a teenager is tough. If there's anything I can do just to be a source of comfort or helpful in any way, it would bring me immense joy." In 2022, Jenna Ortega starred alongside Shailene Woodley and Maddie Ziegler in The Fallout, an HBO film about a school shooting. As the writer and director of the project, Megan Park told InStyle she had wanted Ortega to be part of the project from quite early on. "I knew I wanted somebody who was actually the age of this character, somebody who just really embodied the qualities of what I feel like makes Gen Z so special and so interesting. Somebody who was really honest and brave and bold and smart and unafraid." When Park met Ortega, she was just 17, and she instantly knew she was right. As Park told InStyle, "I just fell in love. I remember calling the producers from a parking garage being like, she's the one." In 2022, Jenna Ortega's status went from star to icon when she took on the role of Wednesday Addams from The Addams Family in the Netflix series Wednesday. Created by filmmaker Tim Burton, Wednesday was a role she had been born to play.
I'd actually only seen the 90s films, so that was my only familiarization, and I'd been compared to Wednesday my entire life. We're told that we're both, very sarcastic.
Still, as Ortega told MovieWeb, she was keen to give the character her own unique spin, saying, "I knew that I could not be ripping anybody off. She's a deadpan character, she's sarcastic, and she's tough." Judging by the massively positive fan and critical response, plus the Season 2 renewal, no one would argue that Ortega's portrayal of Wednesday Addams has been anything less than a smashing success.